Thank you for attending our daily press briefing, the daily press briefing by the Syrian Coalition. Today, Friday, the 6th of December 2013. Yesterday, the South African president announced the death of Nelson Mandela. We are deeply saddened in the Syrian Coalition to hear the news of the death of Mr. Mandela. We believe that his death is a true loss for the whole world, not only for South Africa. We give our condolences, the Syrian people give their condolences to the people of South Africa. They've lost a true symbol for democracy, a true symbol for freedom, somebody who fought against the apartheid. And Syrian people understand the struggles that the people in South Africa had faced until they've reached the freedom, something that we continue to seek in Syria. Yesterday, the Red Cross and also the International Food Program announced that they are facing difficulties in taking some of the humanitarian assistance and delivering it to some areas in Syria. The Assad regime continues to stop any humanitarian convoys to enter some of the besieged areas, especially those areas that that's been under besieged or been besieged for many months. At the same time, the Syrian Coalition, the Syrian interim government, the leadership of the Supreme Military Council, leaders of the Free Syrian Army Brigades have announced their complete support, their complete readiness to cooperate with any humanitarian convoys that will take humanitarian assistance to any place in Syria, to any Syrian, regardless of their political affiliation. Now, this takes place at the same time that the international community is asking the Assad regime to show its seriousness in attending the Geneva conference. The international community is asking the Assad regime to show signs of goodwill gestures before having Geneva. Some of these signs, some of the steps that we've asked for, that the international community have asked for, is humanitarian access. Unfortunately, what we have seen from the Assad regime is the complete opposite. He continues to bombard civilian areas. He had actually made the siege much worse on many of the areas in Syria. In terms of what's going on with the 12 nuns, the Syrian Coalition is, in principle, completely rejects any kidnap operations. We've said very clearly, whether at the Syrian Coalition, the Syrian interim government, the Supreme Military Council, we have said that the Syrian people reject any acts of violence, any kidnapping that go against the very basic principles of the Syrian revolution. We continue to follow on the situation with the 12 nuns. Yesterday, the head of Deir Sadnaya, the nun Fibronia Nabhan, announced in a statement to the Associated Press that the Free Syrian Army Brigades had actually saved the 12 nuns from the continuous bombardment which the city of Ma'lula was facing, and that these nuns are right now in a city in Qalamon, and they were just waiting for to secure their exits before they come out. Today also, well, in the next few days, the people of Aleppo, the province of Aleppo, are going to continue the democratic process. They're actually going to be electing and voting to elect a new local council that represents both the city of Aleppo and the countryside of Aleppo. This is one of the greatest successes of the Syrian revolution. For the first time, after 43 years, the people in Aleppo are able to actually hold actual democratic elections. We look forward to see the same elections get held in other provinces in Syria. We continue also in terms of the successes of the Free Syrian Army over the last few hours. Let's cover Mantiqat al-Qalamon, the Qalamon area first. The regime forces continue their random bombardment of the city of Nebek. Yesterday, they've targeted a factory, a medicine factory that caused some vapors to spread in the air. That caused some of the Syrian citizens to be poisoned by some of the vapors. We want to remind the international community that there are more than 50,000 civilians who are completely surrounded in the city of Nebek for 17 days. They don't have access to food, they don't have access to water. The situation there is very dire, and we look to the international community to start moving to allow humanitarian access to that area. Just in the last few days, there has been large numbers of Syrians who've been displaced, leaving the area of Qalamon. Over 50,000 people, including thousands of children, have left that area and headed towards Lebanon. And at the same time, the Assad regime continues to bombard civilian areas. They continue their very clear terrorism against the Syrian people, against the social classes that support the Syrian revolution. In the last 24 hours, the Free Syrian Army brigades managed to stop the Assad regime forces from entering several neighborhoods in Halab and Aleppo. They are able to push back on the Assad regime forces in the area of Qalamon. Also, the Free Syrian Army brigades have been able to advance in the eastern and the northern parts of the countryside of Hama. They've managed to sustain the military victories that they've had over the last 14 days. Again, the Free Syrian Army has proven to the whole world that they are able to achieve amazing victories, strategic victories with very little capabilities compared to the 13th largest army in the world, which Assad has, the 13th largest army in the world that's being used to kill Syrians, civilians, day in, day out. We at the Syrian Coalition believe that our pursuit of a political solution does not contradict and does not go against continuing the military operations on the ground. We're continuing in both paths to achieve victory for the Syrian revolution. You might have seen also the news about the restructuring of the Supreme Military Council. The Syrian Coalition has full confidence in the leadership of the SMC represented by General Salim Idris. We believe he has the skills that are required to finish the task of restructuring the SMC. We fully trust the SMC, and we fully support them, and we also fully support the Free Syrian Army brigades. We believe that they are continuing to work to serve the needs of the Syrian people, the desires of the Syrian people, and they will work until the success of the Syrian revolution. Thank you.